Bolivia is a land of contrasts in nature that stir one's soul. Here are kept the secrets and mysteries of ancient cultures. In this enigmatic world, you can feel the breath of eternity in its mountains, discover unexplored realms of untamed jungle cut by swollen rivers, be amazed by a country where the real thing still exists. Our visitors will find extraordinary diversity and unique places surrounded by magical scenery, challenging beauty which is at once extreme and moving, such as the Salar de Uyuni or Uyuni Salt Flat. This extensive plain is the starting point of a crossing full of unrepeatable experiences. In the middle of the Salar, Incahuasi Island juts out, where ancient cacti, which have stood the test of time, raise their thorny heads. From the peak of this natural promontory of volcanic rock, an amazing expanse opens before you, where you can almost hear the silence. Over 300 tourists per day visit here and enjoy the landscape, which is considered to be one of the 20 most exotic and admirable places in the world. In remote times, it was here that the salt trade was born and gave rise to the establishment of communities that crossed the salt flats with caravans of llamas to arrive at far-off destinations. Nowadays, the crossing is made in all-terrain vehicles, which take you deep into the southwest, through villages and past communities that have reclaimed their authenticity and cultural wealth and have thus transformed the Altiplano. This is the route that joins the white deserts and colored lagoons of the Eduardo Avaroa National Andean Fauna Reserve, where you will discover a landscape that seems to have been transported from other worlds. Crossing the desert of Siloli is the Árbol de Piedra, or Tree of Stone, a natural sculpture which has been carved by the wind. And, very nearby, is the Laguna, Colorada Wildlife Sanctuary. Every year, thousands of tourists arrive, attracted by its scenic beauty and vast diversity of bird species. The tourist circuit continues on to Sol de Mañana, where nature bursts forth with a power that emerges from the center of the earth. A bit further on are the Polques Hot Springs, a special place to pause on this exceptional crossing on the way to the Laguna Verde at the foot of the Licancaur volcano. The road back still holds more attractive sights, such as the Laguna Celeste and the Rio Grande de los Lipes, all before feeling the energy of the Salar de Uyuni once again. Our voyage through Bolivia now takes us to Potosí. Declared a World Heritage Site, this city preserves the features of a past full of splendor in its magnificent colonial architecture. The San Lorenzo Church is an extraordinary example of Mestizo Baroque, while the Mint, or Casa de la Moneda, now a museum, is one of the most visited tourist attractions. The Tower of the Compañía de Jesús and the Santa Teresa Convent are just some of the unmissable sights on your trip to Potosí. At less than 3 hours from Potosí is the capital of Bolivia, Sucre. Recognized as a heritage city, this is your best opportunity to go back in time and history. The San Francisco Xavier University, founded in 1624, is another site you mustn't miss on your tour. There are many attractive, interesting places in Sucre, like the House of Freedom, San Felipe Neri, and colonial churches that dominate the city landscape. Not far from the city are the famous dinosaur tracks, which are surprising not only for the dimensions, but also for the variety of species represented. A particularly important place is the Asura Indigenous Art Museum, where visitors can see authentic native expression in the weavings from Jalca and Tarabuco, as well as the Pucllay dance, which shows the strength of a race that has endured the centuries. Bolivian celebrations are at their brightest and happiest for the Carnival of Oruro, where the fantasy of the Diablada and other dances deserve to be recognized as the verbal and intangible heritage of mankind. After living the color and authenticity of Oruro, your trip through Bolivia takes you to the valleys of the south. In these lands, rich in vineyards, sunshine and wine, we begin a new route which leads to the Chaco. A day in the Chaco will have more than just one surprise. There's no need to organize special events to see its inhabitants in action. This is their life, these are their customs, and this is their music. But your visit to Bolivia would not be complete without seeing Santa Cruz, the eastern capital, where the beauty and amiability of its people reflect its lush surroundings. This is the starting point for a tour of the mission circuit, to see the churches of the Chiquitanía and the legacy of an era which is characterized by its exceptional art and culture. The temples were built using a simple but one-of-a-kind architecture, and their beauty is a work of art that has withstood the passage of the centuries. The Baroque music, which is now played and composed by the indigenous Chiquitanos, is an invitation to come and see the missions and relive history.